So there are two questions I'm sure a lot of people have been asking, over the past several months, if not the past several weeks. One, what led to the downfall of Donald Trump as president, thus costing him any opportunity at his second term? And two, as of recently, why is the House and some of the Senate still determined to impeach Trump even though he's out of office? Well, I think to answer the first question, what led to Donald Trump's downfall as president is real simple. And I think anybody would agree with this. You know, besides the other accusations that are thrown at him, him, being a womanizer, a racist, him making dealings with, certain other countries and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. I think the one thing that tops it all, that caused his ultimate downfall and any opportunity he would have at being president once again, despite, how people viewed the election this past year, whether it was stolen, rigged, manipulated, whatever the case may be. I think, honestly, what led to his downfall, and again, I know I'm not alone in thinking this, is the fact that in the views of many people, whether they supported him, were indifferent about him, or they didn't support him, was the fact that he didn't take the COVID situation seriously. I mean, if you rewind back to last year, you will notice that there were multiple times, probably more so than I think anybody would want to admit, but probably thousands of times in the eyes of those that don't trust Trump or never liked him, that he pretty much joked about the whole COVID situation. He would call the virus the Kung flu. He would call it the Chinese virus. He basically, in the eyes of many, many, many people, would not take it seriously. And I'm talking about the eyes of those that did support him, those that were indifferent about him, and those that didn't like him. They basically saw him not take this virus seriously as it should have been taken from the very start. And it wouldn't be until he started noticing or getting reports of the virus cases going up, the death toll, and hospitalizations going up because of it, that he started to, slowly take it more seriously than he did at the beginning, and more so when he ended up contracting it himself. Only then did he stop joking around about it and take it more seriously than he ever has, because he was actually experiencing it for the first time, personally. So I think, honestly, in my personal opinion, among everything else that he's been accused of, like I said, being a womanizer, a racist, making dealings with different countries under the table, stuff like that, tax situations, anything else that you might, want to put on a, pretty much a bucket list of things that, he accomplished to earn the distrust of a lot of people. On top of all that, has to be not taking the whole COVID-19 situation seriously like it should have been. So I think that's, the reason, in my opinion, and again, I know I'm not alone in kind of agreeing with this or thinking it this way, that led to his downfall as president and him losing any opportunity at being president for another 4 years. Now, as far as the second question goes, as to why the House, a majority of the House, and some members of the Senate are still determined to pursue impeachment of Trump even though he's out of office, is because they know and realize that if they succeed in the impeachment, even after he's gone from office, that it will prevent him from, basically running for office in 2024. Because they know and believe that if he runs again in 2024, and let's say he succeeds, that he's going to begin another term as president, basically where he left off. He's just going to resume where he left off. Now, perhaps there's a chance, not saying there is, but perhaps there's a chance that while he's campaigning, he'll come out and apologize for making mistakes and not taking things seriously like he should, or running, or basically leading the country as a president should, and listening to the right people or working with the right people to get the country back on its feet. There might be a case that he'll make those kind of apologies during his campaigns and debates and whatever the case may be. But, that's what the House wants to prevent. That's what the House doesn't want to happen, along with members of the Senate, which is why they are still pursuing, even after he's been out of office, they're still pursuing impeachment because they know, if, again, like I said, if they succeed, there's no chance whatsoever that Trump will ever be able to run for office, not just nationwide, if you will, but locally and statewide, because he will be blacklisted. He will be blackballed because many folks in Washington, if not around the country, political or just the average Joe, would consider him too dangerous to basically be in any political power. Like he's too dangerous. He's not mentally not all there, if you know what I'm saying. So that's the reason, honestly, from what I could tell, why the House, majority of the House and members of the Senate, some members of the Senate, are still pursuing impeachment against him. Because they know that if he succeeds in getting, another term, let's say if he runs again, is able to, that if he succeeds, like I mentioned earlier, he's just going to resume where he left off. But maybe on top of that, he might also apologize for some of the mistakes he made during his first run as president, and that he's going to use his second term to make up for that and do it correctly this time because he now has more experience and realizes, hey, I can't just make these decisions without discussing them with members of the House or members of the Senate to see if it's okay to, follow through on them. Because that's basically what a lot of people look at as being somewhat of a positive, if not a negative, or a split situation with Biden and Harris. That even though they say they want to do all this stuff, that some of it basically depends on whether or not the House and the Senate, will agree or disagree with it. So, with that said, that in my opinion, is basically why the House, a majority of the House, and some members of the Senate are still pursuing impeachment. Because they know that if they don't get this done and succeed at it, that he's going to end up having another opportunity to run for the presidency in 2024. And they don't want that because, again, he'll probably just resume where he left off, but make improvements on his previous run or his previous term by doing things correctly this time around. And that's, again, like I said, that's one thing they don't want. Now, there is a silver lining if you are a Trump supporter. And that silver lining is there's 45 to 50 GOP members that are questioning the impeachment process, probably don't agree with it. And if that is the case, basically that, number of people, I guess, or percentage of people in the GOP would be enough to acquit Trump of any wrongdoing and thus open the door for him to have an opportunity to run again. But, it's a situation that's, a wait and see kind of deal, as I always say in my videos. But those are just my thoughts on those two questions with my opinions and answers on them. Let me know what yours are. Comment down below. Let me know in the live chat as well. Stay safe. Take care, guys. And I will talk to you all later. God bless. And I am out.